Hey everybody, Patty Ann here. Excuse my hair and my outfit, but I just got done with my workout, and I don't know if any of you work out, but I love using the Peloton app to work out. I'm not affiliated with them. I just like using the app. I don't have one of those fancy bikes. I just have a regular bike, but I'm able to use the app and I love it. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how I'm going to make myself a new shirt out of an old shirt. This one is just an old shirt that I had around the house, but I'm going to show you where you can download, I think it's $3 maybe, these little things so that you can position stuff, whether it's a V-neck shirt, a scoop neck, or a rounded neck, right where you'd want to on your shirt. I'm going to use one of the slogans that my favorite, or one of my favorite Peloton teachers, Christine, uses. And I'm just making this for myself, and I'm just showing you how to make your own shirt, not necessarily this, because she does sell things with this slogan on it. So this is just for me at home when I do my Peloton workout. So if you'll follow me down below, I'll show you what I'm talking about. And by the way, if you look right here on your screen, in case you want to try the Peloton app, go to peloton.com/app. And you can get 30 days free, and that's what I'm working on right now, my 30 free days. So again, let's get started doing a vinyl heat transfer tee. Okay, here I've printed this out. It's on 2 sheets of paper. I did get a tape measure or a ruler to make sure that indeed this does measure from edge to edge 12 inches, and it does. And then I'm just going to cut along all of these lines. So I have this one for the V-neck. Okay, so as you can see, I just made this out of paper. I could have made it out of cardstock, but this is what's going to help me when I go to make my V-neck t-shirt, which I have right here. This is an old t-shirt. As you can see, I'm going to give new life to it by putting some vinyl on it to make it look good. So then I would just take this and bring it up here and center it. And then I have an idea of where I should start my design. Right here is where I would start it, which is about 2 inches down from the V. Okay, you can see Christine back behind me. She's one of my favorites, as I said. I have several favorites, but I'm just going to go with Christine today. And you can check her out. You can check her out on Facebook, and you also can check her out on Instagram. But I'm going to open up my Silhouette software now because this is what I'm going to do. This is her slogan that she lives by. I am, I can, I will, I do. And she says this almost in all of her workouts. And like I said, she has gear to go with this. She has necklaces. She has all kind of things. I'm just making this for myself out of an old t-shirt. So what I did was I went ahead and got the text. And let's see, what that I use for this. Uh-oh. Okay, this one is still editable, but this one is not. However, I know that what I used for this one was, I believe, the one called Chunk 5. Let me type that in over here by going to the text tool and just typing in I am, and then I'm going to change that to Chunk 5 to see if that's the final one that I decided on. Chunk 5. I think that's a font that I got from dafont.com. Check it out, Chunk 5 EX. Yep, that's the one I used, right? Because I tried these other ones over here and I wasn't really satisfied with the way they looked, especially like this one. Let's see if there were any others. I guess I just have 2 there, but I really liked this a lot better than this just plain, and this was a Roni, another one that I got from dafont.com, but I like Chunk 5 better. So what I did was I went ahead and I discovered or decided how big I wanted to make my design, and I know I want mine about 7 inches across. Okay, so what you can do if you'd like to is just go ahead and draw a box and make your box 7 inches wide. and then you'll know whether your words will fit inside of there or not. I could change the color of this if I'd like to make it easier for you to see, and I'll right click and say send it to the back. And then all I did was this. Let me show you. Let me reenact it. So I just came over here to the text tool and I typed in I am with the cap lock on. And then I said I can, I will, and each time I'm hitting enter because I want it on a new line. I do. Okay, just like that. Then what I did was I made it a lot larger so I could work with it more easily. And I came over here and changed the font from Arial to, should be one of the ones I recently used, Chunk 5. There we go. So then I wanted to make sure it was going to fit about 7 inches. Notice it's a little bit bigger than that right now. So I could shove this in just a little bit like that. Okay. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I actually need to scroll in here because, oh no, they're just barely touching almost. All right, so what I did here was what I did was I ungrouped everything because that allowed me to move these things independently. So I'm going to now go over on the I do and group that back together and just kind of stretch it out, because what I really wanted to have happen was the left side to be lined up as well as the right side. Okay, I'm not crazy about how that looks, the I, so I'm going to ungroup it again, and I'm going to make the I a little bit skinnier so it matches more. I do, maybe a little bit bigger, like that. So I am, and now I'm going to take I am, and I'm going to stretch that apart, and I can stretch that apart a little bit. So basically what I'm trying to do is make these two sides match up. So I'll change I will maybe and squish that in just a tiny bit. Okay. So the last thing that I did right now, maybe this needs to be squished in. I'm not sure. So here's what I did. Take the top line, hit Control and G on your computer to group it. Take the next line, Control G to group it. The next line, Control G, and the next line, Control G. Then what I can do is I can grab all of these and come up to the top up here and align them left. See that? Align left. So now all of these eyes are aligned perfectly. Well, I wonder now, what if I do align right? What's going to happen? Ah, they move way over, so they're not aligned properly yet. So let me align them left again and move this guy in a little bit. I think he was the problem. So one of the things that you can do, I'll line these left again just to make sure they didn't move, is come over here to the ruler area. Now if your rulers aren't showing, see it over here on the right hand side, you can come up here to View and Show Rulers right here. If I click it off, they're gone. View, Show Rulers back on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag a ruler over here and I'm going to line it up with the top part of the M, with the topmost M. Then what I can do, whoop, I didn't mean to move that like that. Then what I can do is just click on, hey, every time I try to just click on it, I move it. Well, that's lining them all up. All right, so let's see now, if I move this over here, they're no longer aligned, right? And I wanted this side to be aligned too. So I'm going to grab this and move it over like that a little bit. Okay, then I'll grab this, undo it. I'm not sure why they're popping. I'm going to move this for a minute. Maybe I just need to move this over every time. See, that's bugging me. I must have something on like Snap to Guides, View, Smart Snapping. I'm turning these things off over here because I think this is why it's snapping to stuff. So let me try it now. I'm going to go ahead and align all of these left again. So I'm going to grab all of these, come up here, align left. Then I'm going to do the same thing I told you. I'm going to bring this ruler over here and align it to the topmost M, the edge of it. And then I'm going to make these others match. So now, see, I can do it. That's what was wrong. So now I can click on this one and align it right up with that line, and align this one right up there with that line. So now these are perfectly aligned. So I want to show you again what was wrong and why my guide or my ruler wasn't working. It was because if you come up here to view, I had snap to grid on and snap to guides on. You want to make sure those are off so that you can put your items exactly where you want them. So let's move this one out of the way, and this one should be done. The only thing is I might want to move them smaller or shorter together. So I think I'll move this one up. Well, you know what I should do though, you guys? I just moved that willy-nilly. I should click on this and move it with the arrow on my keyboard so I don't move it from the left and the right. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all of these and I'm going to come over to the right-hand side and I'm going to say spacing. I want them to be spaced perfectly evenly, vertically or up and down. So I'm going to click on that, and when I do, watch what happens to the spacing. Perfect, just like that. So now I'm going to group these together, bring them over to that area I had for my shirt, and it is perfect. So I'm ready to go. What I'm going to use today, what I'm going to use today is flock. If you've watched my videos before, you've seen me use flock a lot of times. I love the texture that is. It's a soft, fuzzy feel. I love it. And I'm going to use white because I thought that would show up the best. The other things I was thinking about using was some reflective HTV. I had some that I absolutely love from Auntie Tay. Look at her website for that. Or I was thinking about using some glitter HTV from Cricut. But I didn't really like the silver or the gold, so I went with the white. So if you look back up here at my screen, you'll notice that I have mirrored these images. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to test it. So I have it on heat transfer flocked, auto cut, I have the auto blade, and this is what it came up with by itself. So I'm going to test by clicking right here, test. So it's going to test this for me before I mess up a whole sheet of flock. I can test to see how well this cuts and whether, since my blade is a little bit older, I need to adjust the force or perhaps the depth of the knife. So let's take this out and let's look and see how did that turn out. And I can't really tell because it was too close to the edge. So I don't think that was good enough. Here, I can see it now. Yeah, that wasn't a good enough sample at all. By the way, I have this face down on here since it is HTV. So I'm going to put this in again. And this time what I'll do is I'm going to come up here again and I'm going to move this over a bit like that and down a little bit by hitting these arrows. And I'm going to do another test. Okay? So I'm going to up the knife depth. I'm going to put it way up to a 7 and see how that works. And I'll say test. Now see, this is saving me a lot of aggravation. You know, you never know how old your blade is or whatever. So it's a good thing to test everything. So let's see how this one worked out. Okay, this appears to have worked perfectly. Oops, appears to have worked perfectly. See that? And hopefully it didn't go all the way through. Hopefully that it did. So that's a perfect test cut. So I'm going to put this back in here again. And I'll go ahead and cut this now. And I will meet you back here when it's done. Oh, by the way, it asked me send mirrored or send as is. I always like to mirror mine myself. So I'm going to say send as is. Okay, as you may be able to see, I've done a little prep work on this t-shirt. I went ahead and found the middle of the V, folded it in half and made a little bit of a line with my heat press. And then I stuck in one of these pads that I like to use from Heat Press Nation. You can see it right here, because this V-neck is pretty thick right there, and it might mess up how well it adheres to the shirt. I've also gone ahead and, well, what I like about this particular press is that comes out like that, and I went ahead and gave it a little press to get rid of some of the moisture that's already in there. You remember, this is an old t-shirt, and I'll bring it back up. So I've got my heat press set up to 320 degrees, and I'm going to do this for 10 to 15 seconds. And this is according to a little chart that I got from TRW, the Rhinestone World. Has rhinestone information on this side and heat transfer vinyl on this side. So then the next thing I'm going to do, pull this back out. Hopefully you can still see. I'm going to take my little handy dandy marker, and I'm going to line this up with that line that I made on here. Now, unfortunately, I just ironed on it again to demonstrate, and I kind of got rid of it. Hopefully this is lined up well. But I would line this up with that center line that I ironed or pressed right here, and this is lined up with the center of the V. And then I can take this piece that I've already weeded, you saw me cutting it before, and I'm going to place it down here right on top. Oh, I would fold this in half first to kind of get the middle of this, give it a squeeze, and then line that up on top of this like that. Hopefully my center line didn't get messed up. So then I would take this out, and I'm ready to go. So I'll just press this under here, bring my press back, and I'm going to do this for, let's say, what did I say, 10 to 15 seconds? Okay, let's go. So ready? Okay, time should be up. And so we'll take this out. And this type of vinyl, this is the older strip flock. This one is a cold peel. So I'm going to let this get a little bit cold first before I attempt to peel it. Right now it's very, very hot. I can actually probably take this middle piece out now. This is the foam pad that I like to use. Notice I used it when I was making a mask once and forgot to put the protective paper on it. It was Sublimation. And it comes in all different kind of sizes. I have this link down below for you. This one's nice for shirts. There's one that goes in your sleeve. It's really kind of cool. So this isn't cold yet. Cold peel. It looks like it's going to work perfectly, so what I'm going to do is turn off my heat press now, because it's going over top of my little easy press. This is looking pretty good. All right, let's see what we got. So you want to pull it off at an angle. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So I've already done my exercising today on my stationary bike, but I will wear this tomorrow when I do it. Now, if you wanted to, you could come back and put a piece of silicone on top of here and just give it one more final little press. Of course, if you're using an easy press, it is recommended that you do that. And that is that. And I think it turned out super cute. I am, I can, I will, I do. Okay, just thought I'd get on here and show you the finished product. I really like how it turned out. As I said, I love flock. I hope you'll try something like this. If you do, let me know in the comments down below, or certainly join our Facebook groups. Thanks again for joining me. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell, and comment. I love to read y'all's comments. So again, thanks a lot. Happy riding. Cute. Make your own shirts for working out. Maybe you plan on going to the beach if we're allowed to this summer, and you want to start working on your beach body. Now, I'm not going to be getting any beach body going on, but I still like to work out from my heart. So I hope you all like this.